dealing with disrespect. Imagine standing before the storm, unmoved, unshaken. The winds howl, the rain lashes, yet the oak does not curse the storm, it merely stands. So too must we stand when met with disrespect. What is another's opinion to you? A breath of air, a passing cloud. If one speaks ill, it is their burden, not yours. Shall a lion concern itself with the barking of dogs? Nor should the wise man lower himself to the folly of those who speak without reason. Consider this: if a man acts unjustly, it is because he knows no better. Would you fault a child for stumbling as he learns to walk? Then why take offense at those who have yet to learn virtue? Pity them instead, for they suffer from an affliction greater than insult, or they are prisoners of their own ignorance. Your mind is yours alone. No man's words can injure you unless you grant them passage into your soul. If you are insulted, ask yourself, does this change who I am? Have I become lesser? If the answer is no, then why be troubled? If yes, then let it not be the insult that wounds you, but the truth within it, so that you may grow stronger. Do not waste a moment in anger. Time is fleeting, and every breath spent in rage is stolen from wisdom, from peace, from life itself. To indulge in offenses to grant the offender victory. Instead, meet disrespect with indifference, or better yet, with virtue. Show them by your actions what true strength is. Remember, you are not here to be praised, nor to be loved by all. You are here to be just, to be disciplined, to walk the path of reason. Let others do as they will, you remain steadfast, unshaken, unbreakable. And in the end, the storm will pass, the winds will fade, and why, like the oak, will still stand. When a man hurls an insult, he reveals more about himself than about the one he seeks to offend. Disrespect, like mud thrown at a statue, does not stain the stone unless the stone allows it. The weight of another's scorn is not yours to carry, nor is it yours to internalize. The words of the foolish may strike the ear, but they cannot pierce the soul unless permitted. If a man calls you weak, does his opinion alter your strength? If he mocks your path, does his laughter change the road beneath your feet? Then why grant his words dominion over your peace? Consider the nature of insult. The tongue of another moves, air is expelled, sound is formed. This is all a mere vibration in the wind. It holds no substance unless the mind seizes it, shapes it, and allows it to wound. But if the mind remains still, unshaken, the insult dissolves like mist in the morning sun. What power, then, does disrespect hold? None, save that which is surrendered to it. A man in anger speaks not from wisdom, but from turmoil within. He lashes out not because of your failing, but because of his own unrest. Would you take offense at the growl of a dog or the chatter of birds? Then why take offense at the thoughtless words of one who has not mastered himself? Their scorn is not a measure of your worth, but a reflection of their own disorder. To react with fury is to accept their judgment, to validate their words, to descend to their level. But to remain unmoved is to strip their insult of all force. A mind at peace is a fortress. No insult may breach its walls unless the gates are opened from within. The world may be unkind, tongues may be sharp, but your mind remains your own. Guard it well. Let no insult find purchase. Let no slight provoke reaction. If disrespect is given, let it return to its giver, for it was never yours to bear. Disrespect is but a gift refused. If a man hands you a stone and you do not take it, to whom does the stone belong? If he offers venom and you do not drink, who suffers from its poison? The weight of insult remains with the one who casts it. Do not take what is not yours. Walk forward, unbuffered, unchained by the folly of others. If ever you are wronged, let justice guide your course, not passion. If correction is needed, let it be given with wisdom, not wrath. If silence is best, let silence be your answer. But never let the unworthy dictate your state of mind. To be provoked is to surrender. To remain above it is to triumph. The strong do not lower themselves to wrestle in the mud, nor do they waste words on those who do not seek reason. They walk their path, undeterred, carrying only what is theirs to carry. A man may speak ill of you, but his words are only noise unless you choose to listen. He may mock your choices, question your worth, or seek to wound you with his opinions, but his thoughts are his own, not yours. What power do they hold? None, unless you open the door and invite them in. A mind that stands firm is like a fortress impenetrable to the arrows of ridicule, untouched by the storms of scorn. But a mind that wavers, that clings to the judgments of others, is like a ship at sea without an anchor, tossed by every wave. Ask yourself, if a man calls you a fool, Does that make you one? If he laughs at your struggles, does that make your efforts meaningless? The truth of who you are is not written by the voices of the crowd. Their words carry no weight unless you give them gravity. A tree does not cease to be a tree because someone calls it a rock. The sun does not dim because one declares it dark. And you do not become less because another fails to see your worth. Disrespect is often born from ignorance, jealousy, or a restless spirit seeking to provoke. Do not let the misguided opinions of another become chains around your mind. The moment you allow their words to define you, you have surrendered power over yourself. Why hand control of your peace to those who do not guard their own? If they speak out of anger, let them wrestle with their own fire. If they seek to belittle, let their smallness remain with them. Their opinion does not shape your reality, nor should it dictate your course. Imagine a man standing at the edge of a river, shouting at the water to flow in the opposite direction. His voice is loud, his words insistent, but the river does not change its course. It moves forward, unbothered, undisturbed. Be as the river. Let them speak, let them judge, let them waste their breath. Your path remains unchanged unless you choose to divert it for their sake. You cannot control the tongues of others, but you can control what enters your mind. A fool may call you weak, but if you know your own strength, why be troubled? A bitter soul may call you unworthy, but if you walk with purpose, why falter? Their words are their own burden to carry. Let them weigh themselves down while you remain light, moving forward, unhindered. If ever you are tempted to react, to defend yourself against those who speak without understanding, ask, is their voice greater than my own? Do they know my journey better than I do? The answer is always number. Then why grant them dominion over your peace? Walk as though their words are mere echoes in the wind, heard, perhaps, but powerless to alter the course of the one who remains steadfast in mind and purpose. When a man speaks with cruelty, when he mocks, belittles, or disrespects, he reveals not his strength but his lack of understanding. The wise do not waste their breath on insults, nor do they seek to wound others with words. Only the ignorant believe that tearing another down elevates them. To be unjust, to be disrespectful, is not a sign of power but of weakness or an ailment of the soul, a blindness of the mind. Should you be angered by a man who stumbles in the dark, or should you pity him for his lack of sight? Disrespect is often born from insecurity. A man who is at peace within himself does not seek to cause turmoil in others. He does not lash out, for he has no need. But the one who is ruled by his own failings, by envy, fear, or a restless heart, will attempt to make others feel as he does. If he speaks cruelly, it is because he does not know how to speak with wisdom. If he treats others unjustly, it is because he has never learned the value of justice. How, then, can you take his actions personally? He does not wrong you because of who you are, he wrongs you because of who he is. Would you strike a child for speaking foolishly? Would you rage at a sick man for coughing? Then why waste your energy resenting those who lack wisdom? Their actions stem from their condition, a condition they may not even recognize. And so, instead of meeting disrespect with anger, meet it with understanding. If a man is blind to his own ignorance, does your fury give him sight? If he is lost in his own foolishness, does your resentment guide him to reason? With your restraint, your refusal to lower yourself, may be the lesson he did not expect. It is easy to return insult for insult, to meet disrespect with outrage. But what does that accomplish? It drags you into the same darkness that consumes the ignorant. To argue with a fool is to become one. To dwell on their words is to give them weight they do not deserve. True strength is found in self-mastery, in knowing that the sting of another's words is but an illusion, or one that vanishes the moment you refuse to acknowledge it. Let the ignorant reveal themselves through their own actions. Let them show the world their own affliction. Do not take on their sickness as your own. Walk forward with the understanding that their disrespect is not a reflection of your worth but of their own emptiness. If they knew better, they would do better. And if they refuse to learn, their downfall will not come from you, but from the weight of their own blindness. Pity them, for they do not see the chains they have placed upon themselves. And as they remain bound, you remain free. A man may insult you, mock you, speak words meant to stir anger within you. But what is anger if not a fire you choose to ignite? The insult is merely a spark, it does not burn unless you gather the fuel. If you allow disrespect to consume you, you hand over your power, You become a slave to the words of another. Why let the actions of the foolish dictate your state of mind? A moment of anger is a moment stolen, a piece of life given away to one unworthy of it. Consider the man who is easily provoked. He is led by his emotions, not by reason. A slight against him is like a stone thrown into a stormy sea, immediately met with violent waves. But the wise man, the disciplined man, is like a calm lake. Throw a stone, and it causes only a few ripples before the surface smooths again. His peace is untouched because he understands the truth. Control over the mind is the highest form of strength. To react in anger is to be mastered by another. To remain composed is to be the master of oneself. Time is fleeting, and every moment spent in rage is lost forever. What does anger accomplish? It changes nothing. It does not undo the insult, nor does it correct the fool who spoke it. If anything, it grants them victory, for they have succeeded in disturbing your peace. The greatest insult to one who seeks to provoke you is to remain unmoved, to show them that their words are as insignificant as the wind. You are not a puppet to be controlled by another's actions. You are not a leaf tossed by every gust of disrespect. You are solid, grounded, immovable. Some believe anger is a sign of strength, that to lash out is to show power. But uncontrolled anger is not strength, it is a weakness, a loss of discipline. True strength lies in restraint, in the ability to meet offense with wisdom instead of fury. If a man wrongs you, let justice be your response, not wrath. If he speaks falsely, let your actions prove the truth, not your outrage. The best response to disrespect is to live so greatly that his words become meaningless. Every moment, you choose what to cultivate within yourself. Will you nurture resentment, allowing it to grow like weeds in your mind? Or will you cultivate reason, ensuring that no outside force can shake you? The choice is yours alone. No one can make you angry without your consent. No words have power unless you allow them to take root. To rise above insult is to rise above those who give it. Let them burn in their own rage while you remain untouched, walking forward with reason as your guide and virtue as your shield. When disrespect is given, it is a tester not of your worth, but of your discipline. The weak react, the strong remain unmoved. A man ruled by emotion is a man easily led, easily provoked, easily controlled. But the one who masters himself, who refuses to be shaken by insult or offense, stands beyond the reach of those who seek to disturb his peace. Strength is not found in shouting the loudest, nor in striking back at every slight. Strength is found in indifference, in the refusal to grant another dominion over your mind. Consider the nature of reaction. When one insults you, they expect a response: anger, frustration, a wound revealed. To react is to give them what they seek, to play their game, to meet them on their terms. But what happens when you give them nothing? When their words meet only silence, when their efforts to provoke fall flat, they are left powerless, defeated not by retaliation, but by a refusal to engage. Indifference is the weapon that renders them harmless, for it denies them the satisfaction of seeing you moved. To be indifferent to insult is not to be weak, it is to be wise. It is to understand that the opinions of others have no bearing on your reality. If a man calls you foolish, does it make you so? If he mocks your path, does it change your direction? Then why concern yourself with his words? His disrespect belongs to him, not to you. His anger, his bitterness, his scorn, these are his burdens to carry. Do not make them yours. Discipline is the foundation of true strength. It is the ability to choose stillness over reaction, wisdom over impulse. A soldier does not abandon his post because of the shouts of an enemy. He remains steadfast, knowing his duty is greater than his pride. So too must you stand firm, unmoved by the noise of those who seek to distract you. Their words are like the wind passing, meaningless, incapable of altering the course of the one who walks with purpose. Every moment of reaction is a moment lost. Every battle fought over words is a battle that drains energy better spent elsewhere. To chase after every insult, to respond to every slight, is to waste the most precious resource you have, your time. Time is best spent on things that build, that strengthen, that elevate. Let others busy themselves with pettiness and quarrels. You remain above it, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. There is no greater show of strength than to look upon disrespect and feel nothing, to know that your peace cannot be stolen, that your mind cannot be shaken, that your course cannot be altered by the smallness of others. Let them rage, let them provoke, let them exhaust themselves in their own turmoil. You remain as the mountain, silent, unyielding, unbreakable. The storms will come, the winds of insult, the rains of mockery, The tempests of disrespect to these are inevitable. There will always be those who speak without wisdom, who seek to shake the foundations of others, who throw their words like stones in the hope of causing harm. But just as the oak stands through the fiercest of storms, so too must you stand, unmoved, unshaken. The winds do not uproot the tree that has grown deep roots, nor do the words of the unwise disturb the one who has fortified his mind. Consider the oak. It does not bend for every passing breeze, nor does it tremble before every dark cloud. It stands firm because it knows what it is. It does not seek approval from the elements, nor does it concern itself with the opinions of the weaker saplings around it. Its strength is its own, earned through years of standing tall against whatever nature sends its way. So must you be. Your strength is not measured by how well you fight every insult, but by how well you endure without being moved. Disrespect is but a gust of wind. It howls. It tries to unsettle you, but it cannot harm you unless you allow it to. The moment you react in anger, the moment you let another's words control your mind, you become like the weak branch that snaps under pressure. But if you hold your ground, if you refuse to be disturbed, the wind passes, and you remain standing. The one who insults you gains nothing, for he has not succeeded in breaking you. What greater defeat is there for those who seek to provoke than to see their efforts fail? A man who is easily shaken, who is thrown off course by every slight, is like a leaf in the wind tossed about, never steady, never in control. But the one who knows himself, who trusts his own character and values, cannot be swayed by the words of others. He does not chase every insult, nor does he lower himself to answer every fool. He knows that to react is to give power, and to remain still is to own it. In the face of disrespect, you have a choice. You can be as the brittle branch that snaps at the first sign of pressure, or you can be as the oak rooted, strong, and indifferent to the storm. Let others exhaust themselves in their attempts to provoke. Let them hurl their words like the wind hurls against the tree. It changes nothing. You are not here to please the weak or to prove yourself to those who do not matter. You are here to stand, to endure, to be unmoved by the passing noise of those who have yet to learn the value of silence. The storm will pass, the winds will die, and while others are scattered, broken, and lost, you will still be standing.